why is the FBI stonewalling the release of these records and asking us to essentially go away? That's what their request was earlier. Hey, you going to leave us alone on this? We told them no, and we sued. So when, let's say you're a public figure and you die and the FBI's got files on you, we ask for and obtain those FBI files. And there have been numerous files we've asked for and obtained on individuals who passed away who have had reason to have been involved or subject to FBI scrutiny. One of those individuals that we just, for whose FBI files we just sued for, is Hillary Clinton's brother, Tony Rodham. Tony Rodham passed away, I think, in 2019, if I recall, if I'm correct. Yeah, it must have been 2019 because that's when we asked for the records first. And we asked the FBI, give us records on Tony Rodham back in June of 2019. I'll show you, here, let's go to the, here we have the press release. Judicial Watch sues Justice Department for FBI records on Hillary Clinton's brother, Tony Rodham. As I read that headline, I want to make the edit. Judicial Watch sues for FBI records. It's like, as I said earlier in the broadcast, to get FBI records, you got to sue the Justice Department. You don't sue the FBI, and it's like, boy, that's just confusing. All records related to Anthony Dean Rodham, Tony Rodham, born in August '54 in Park Ridge, Illinois. He died on June 7th, 2019, so we asked for the records 3 days after he passed away, including but not limited to investigative reports, 302s. 302s are written reports related to summaries of interviews, witness statements, confidential human source reporting, meeting contacts. All of these are documented. Cables, letterhead memoranda, and communications sent to and from FBI officials related to Rodham. And there's another load of information, it's clear. In August, the FBI acknowledged it had located over 13,000 pages of records responsive to the request, as well as audio and video files that are potentially responsive to the request. Whoa, they got audio of Tony Rodham? Who was he talking to? Where's that from? Boy, those Epstein files are interesting. These might be as interesting. After years of delays, in May of 2025, the FBI again acknowledged possession of responsive records and asked if there was still interest. This is the new game, by the way, that the deep state plays. You asked for these records a few years ago. You still want them? And at one point, they were suggesting if we didn't respond, they would just drop the request. Of course, we did any work. And we said, of course, we still want them. Judicial Watch acknowledges continued interest in having the request processed without modification of its scope. And that's the last we communicated with them. They didn't respond, so we sued. So this is what happened. We asked for the records about Tony Rodham during the Trump administration. They got back to us relatively quickly. And said there are 13,000 pages of records. And a year and a half later, we still hadn't gotten anything. The Biden administration, 4 years, ignores our requests. And then the Trump people come in. I guess they're looking at the old requests and say, hey, you still want this because we basically don't want to respond. And we told the FBI, of course we want the records. Why are you hiding them? Now, Rodham, if you want to know something about the Clinton crime family, you need to figure out what Tony Rodham was up to. And our press release just covers a little bit of it. While Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, former Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe and Rodham were beneficiaries of the EB-5 Cash for Visa program, in which they raised at least $46 million from investors for their green tech automotive electric car company. Green Tech followed for bankruptcy in February 2018. So you should look up that scandal. This is another classic. Rodham for decades used his connections with the Clintons to further his failing career. Rodham described himself as a facilitator and had a range of opportunities like addressing Chinese investor conferences and joining an advisory board of a company seeking permission to mine for gold in Haiti. The Clintons in Haiti. I mean, you know, where's the Hollywood movie on the Clintons in Haiti? Can you imagine what that would be like? Among other controversies, Rodham also pursued contracts in post-earthquake Haiti, seeking a $22 million housing deal, while Bill Clinton co-chaired the Recovery Commission, a proposal that collapsed, probably under public scrutiny if I recall correctly. What's currently in the public record about the schemes of Hillary Clinton's little brother Tony likely just scratches the surface, I said in our press release. Clearly, the Justice Department and FBI have been sitting on a motherlode of information. And we've got so much stuff on the Rodham Clinton gang as it is. You know, we exposed, and the reason Hillary lost the presidency is because of the work we did. We were doing it to, you know, to make sure she didn't win the presidency, because when we first started asking questions about her emails, about what she was doing at the State Department, it was before she had announced her run. Frankly, I didn't even think she was going to run. So we knew her being at the State Department was a corruption problem because we knew Hillary was corrupt from her prior dealings with her during the Clinton administration. And we found out how Clinton Foundation donors were going to the State Department and getting special favors, despite promises by Hillary that all that would be forbidden if she became State Department Secretary of State. And many of the emails show instances of Rodham seeking to leverage his influence as Clinton's brother. In January 2010, confidential assistant Monica Hanley forwarded to Abedin, Huma Abedin was Hillary Clinton's assistant, a request from Rodham on 3 issues. One involved help on a green card renewal. Another involved a visit by someone of which Abedin said they wanted to regret. And the third involved a job for someone whose CV Rodham forwarded to State. Let's look at that email. Look at this. Dear Tony, attached you can find a copy of my U.S. green card and extract from Part 4 of the accusatory complaint against Michelle Sask. I can't pronounce the last name. So Tony forwards it to the State Department. And then her top person basically says, Tony's calling looking for this. He's asking for help with the green card renewal. Someone was going to have a visit with someone that was close to him that they wanted that based on this email, Tony wanted the visit to take place and the State Department didn't. So he's pushing on that. And then the CV for an unnamed individual. And he was pushing and pushing. So my question is, when are we going to get the audio, video, and other records about Hillary Clinton's corrupt little brother, Tony Rodham? Because If it's Tony Rodham corruption, we're talking about Hillary Clinton corruption. And why is the FBI stonewalling the release of these records and asking us to essentially go away? That's what their request was earlier. Hey, you going to leave us alone on this? We told them no, and we sued. So another big lawsuit under FOIA about a major corruption scandal. So the media will focus, and we have been focused on, Epstein files, but now we've got Hillary Clinton files, essentially. Basically audio files and video files concerning FBI investigations of her brother. You want to see those records? I do. We're going to pursue this continuously in federal court. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.